Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj for the Everyday Fan Sports. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with Nick Herrera, Director of Recruiting Operations in Florida for All American Sports Recruiting, and the head coach of the Florida National All-Star Team, Golden Gate, for 11 and 12-year-olds. Coach Herrera, thank you so much, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, congrats, Coach Herrera, on your success, setting your ninth year with All American Sports Recruiting. I guess first and foremost, had to ask you, Coach Herrera, just in terms of working with these athletes, said trying to get them, up to that next level in college. Just talk about how you've been able to succeed at this.
It's all glory to God, man. I'm grateful to have the opportunity from Eli Herrera. He's the owner. It's a passion of mine to work with kids. The biggest thing is exposure, getting them exposed all over the nation, sending out their film daily to recruiting coordinators constantly to get them looked at from all over the country. I've worked with kids from Florida, from Mississippi, all over the place. And it's been an honor to get to meet their families and support them in college. There's so many that have made it to D1 in all levels, and it's a passion of mine, and I enjoy it. And I played football in high school and baseball, and I love it. And any way I can give back and follow my passion, I just go with it.
Yeah. Staying out at Laley High School there in Naples, Florida, as you said, baseball in Florida. It said, you won that recognition in Collier County for the most stolen bases in high school.
I did.
Received multiple scholarships. Talk about your time there, at Laley High School, Coach Herrera.
Laley is a great school. I had a great head coach. His name was Pete Seitz, and the assistant coach was Pete Garcia, who's also a head coach today still in Collier County for Gulf Coast. They developed me well. Trained me very hard, always put education first. They always would tell me, they're here to watch you run. So hit the ball on the ground and run hard. So I did. And every time I had an opportunity to get on base, I would steal as many bags as I can because I knew that was my ticket to get out of here on scholarship. So I would steal as much as I can. I always had the green light with Coach Seitz, and he's taught me a lot. And I'm very grateful, to play for him and Coach Garcia, and I love them a lot, man.
That's great. Hey, just thought what it meant to put on that jersey. I always ask athletes, but I'm interested from the coach's perspective. But going back to those days, putting on that jersey, except for Laley High School, both on the baseball and football team, what that meant to you and represented Coach Herrera.
It meant everything to me. I played with some really good football players. Ronnie DeLuce played corner. He had a full scholarship to Clemson. A few other guys went big D1, and Coach Swanson was my football coach. He was like a father figure to me, and I'd run through a wall for him when I played for him. And wearing that Laley on your front shirt, being from the neighborhood, it meant everything. So. I love the school. I love the coaches. I gave it everything I got while I was there. And it was a really good experience to be at that school.
Yeah, it takes a whole village, to have a successful program, in terms of like administration, athletics, parents, the community. You get, of course, here with, All American Sports Recruiting, you get to experience that. But just talk about there, said Collier County, just that structure and just, again, how it led, the results, panned out on the field as well, Coach Herrera.
Yeah. From growing up, in Naples, I was raised by my grandparents, and they were really close to the coaches and my dad. It was like a tight-knit family. In 2002, there wasn't a lot of high schools like there are now around the area. Mm-hmm. So everyone knew everybody. It's a small town in Naples. So it was a lot of family orientated, and it was a close bond that you had with the coaches, man. And Coach Brasio was the running back coach, and he's the head coach now at First Baptist here in Naples, Florida. His son played for Boston College for a few years, and had a great career there. So I love this town. I was born and raised here, And I just gave it everything I got for them. So
Yeah.
it was a blessing playing for Laley High School.
That's wonderful. And again, heavily recruited your senior year. I said decided to attend Tennessee Wesleyan. Head coach Ash Brown, recruiting coordinator Willie Bosk, who played for the University of Miami. Talk about that. That's just that, just that relationships with both of them. And, again, what led to, Tennessee Wesleyan being the perfect fit for you, Coach Herrera.
Yeah, that was huge. Willie and Ashley Lawson, they recruited me the hardest. And I thought it was a better fit for me to go to an NAIA school, smaller classes. It was a good fit for me. The whole outfield my freshman year got drafted. Willie came out of Miami, so I knew he knew what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. And he played with Bobby Hill and some good ball players out of Miami. Mm-hmm. And it was just God's timing that I got to work with him my freshman year. Yeah. And he was there with Coach Ashley. He was the best recruiter I've ever seen. The guy was a great coach. Him and my mom had a really strong relationship. I know they'd talk every night. Mm-hmm. And my senior year, and it was a great fit for me. I visited the school. I fell in love with it. I remember I took a couple swings and had a little pre-camp with them, and they offered me on the spot, and it was a great feeling. Small town in Athens, Tennessee, mm-hmm. Mountains, a beautiful, something I've never seen before. Yeah. And when I got there, they put me into a summer league right away for Franklin, Tennessee Seminoles, and I played all summer, all around the Southeast before I joined the team in the fall when school started.
Yeah, that's great because getting to experience a different part of the country, it's still in the southern tier of the country, but just again another region and just how people live. I mean, that must have been really said for you a great experience, Coach Herrera.
Right, and also they're both right now head scouts. One's for the New York Mets, yes, and the other one, Willie, is the supervisor, head scout for the San Diego Padres. And I know they're both doing great things and big things. And I just felt like I was supposed to be with them. At that time, at that short time they were at Tennessee Wesleyan, it was an honor that they thought I was good enough to play for them. And I got to learn a lot from them as a player and as a learning to be a coach in the future. Yeah. I took a lot from them and always paid attention to what they were talking about. Detail, fundamentals. They were big on fundamentals. Yeah. And, Willie said it was tough to play at Miami with all that talent. That was when they were winning national championships back to back. So I took a lot from him, and he taught me how to be a better person every day. And he was in school too, finishing his master's there. So it was a great experience to have him as an assistant coach and to have Coach Ashley there, who also coached for Tennessee a couple years after, was their pitching coach. So both of them together, a great knowledge of baseball, man.
That's great. And, played center field. You guys finished on your 38-20 and won the Appalachian Athletic Conference regular season title, finished third in the NAIA, regional tournament. That had to be just absolutely tremendous, for you, Coach Herrera, just being a part of those teams.
Amazing. It was a great experience. My mother moved with me from Naples, Florida to Tennessee. I brought my grandma for a few months too. We got my mom a job close to the school as a dental assistant. And it was huge having her there on the weekends coming to watch me play and having my grandma's Cuban cooking. She cooked me some Cuban food up there. And I loved it. And they both loved the school and they both loved my coaches. And that's what ultimately made my, decision that Coach Lawson was so close to my grandma and my mother. Yeah. And I just felt like that was the place for me to be.
That's great. I know as you studied business there at Tennessee Wesleyan University, you have a personal story that, I'm sure to share about your mom, said if you want to go into that, you had to come back home, said Coach Herrera.
Yeah. After my first year, my mom got diagnosed with cancer. Both breasts, and she had to move back to Naples to see the doctor. She had to go on chemo and stuff like that. So I made a decision after the year to go back there and help out my mother. I'm her only son, her only kid in the world. So she did a lot for me, and I felt like that was where I needed to be. And thank God she's still alive today.
Great.
Cancer survivor. And she always knew that I had her support. And as soon as I went back home, I started coaching right away.
Yeah.
Little league, AAU, and I really got involved with it, and I loved it. And I loved to develop players at that level.
Yeah.
So to make sure that, once they know how to play the game right, and when they get to the next level, high school or college, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Hey, I definitely can relate. I'm an only son, only child as well. And it's like, we talked about before we came on the air. Sometimes it's more than, sports. It's about family, it's about your priorities. And it just like, it's great. It's great to hear that news about your mom because again, I said it to you, it really puts life in perspective because you never know what each day is going to bring. And you really cherish those moments with family, Coach Herrera.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let's talk about Little League and AAU. I mean, the fact that you're getting. We talked about the fundamentals, the techniques. That you're able to start at such a young age,
right?
And then once you see these kids move up the the ladder through the system, once they reach high school, that they're so developed that they understand. What the game means. Just talk about that. How enjoyable that was. Especially at that level.
I've coached Little League. My little brother played. So I coached all his friends, and then when they all moved up, I stayed with them and coached AAU.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. The team was called the Hammerheads.
Okay.
I coached them for like 3 or 4 years, even up to their freshman year in high school. Out of that team, Mario Leone pitched for FGCU, got drafted by the Diamondbacks. So I've been there with him the whole time. Drew Friedman, a shortstop out of Naples, Florida, got a scholarship to Wake Forest, where I met Stuart Fairchild and Gavin Sheets. So yeah, all these kids, and some of them even play lower level too. I know a couple of pitchers. Renee Zafra went to South Minnesota State, and a couple other kids went places too. So it's not just D1; it's all the levels, and I was a part of that, even if it was a small piece, but I was a part of it. Watching them grow up as kids in high school and college. I never missed a game. I would drive 13 hours to watch Drew play with his father, and we would stop in South Carolina in the middle of the night, maybe sleep for 2 hours, get there Friday, watch him play a series all weekend, drive back, Monday early to get back to work. So I love it, man. It's a passion of mine to see those kids excel and come out of my hometown.
Yes.
And I take pride in that. I came out of the same place. I played in the same Little League. You just take pride in that, where you come from. And, I got to see him play on national television, and it's just a special place. It's not all about going pro. Sometimes that's the highest level you can get. And that's great. Most of those kids got degrees now, and they got great careers, and some of them made it to play pro ball. So it's just, it's a blessing to have relationships with those kids still, and have the respect that I have with them, and that's why I've known them since they were kids.
Lifelong relationships. It's very rewarding. I can see it. Definitely a passion of yours, Coach Herrera. I mean, just going back, I think we tend to forget student athletes as well, because as you said, something to fall back on. Once you have, that high school diploma, you have that college degree that, as you said rightly, in case it doesn't, materialize where not everybody is going to, make it to, Major League Baseball, so someday be, stuck, of course, playing minor league baseball for a long time. That may not be, as I said, in terms, of having, being sustained, that here, you get a job, said and have a career for a number of years.
Yep. I totally agree.
I also, that another great thing is that you did a lot of one-on-one training with athletes as well. I wanted to ask you out. I mean, that's again, terrific. Just talk about that aspect as well, Coach Herrera.
Yeah. Some of the kids, you put extra time with them on the side, and you build relationships with their fathers, and some of the kids, you just work a little extra harder on the side with them, and the ones that want to put in the work, and that's grateful to be on coaching this all-star team. For me, it's a dream come true. I was born and raised there. I personally developed a little late, and when I played at that league, I didn't make the all-star team. So I try to tell these kids how important it is, to be in the moment and not to take it for granted, and they play with their eyes open, and they're grateful to have me as a coach. And I put the time in for them, and it's not about money because I don't get paid. It's about, loving my hometown and giving the opportunity to work with kids and give back like people give back to me when I played, So I'm really thankful for Mike, the president, to give me the opportunity to coach this all-star team. It's an honor. And I'm grateful to be around these kids and to develop them so they can get ready for the next level. Yeah. A few of them will be high school in a couple of years, and a few of them will be Babe Ruth, which is, travel ball, AAU, whatever. Yeah. But, they'll all be playing high school within 3 years. So just developing them and teaching them how to play the game the right way.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, this team has an opportunity, if I'm correct, and I think you mentioned that to go to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, for the Little League World Series. Talk about how exciting that is, Coach Herrera.
Super exciting. I try, a lot of these kids, they really don't understand how important it is to actually have an opportunity to be in this tournament, to go as far as you can, and the dream is Williamsport. Yeah. I told them, let's start one day at a time and let's win the districts and go to states. Yeah. But my ultimate goal is why we practice four times a week and every Saturday is so we can play in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So I dream big. Why not? There's other teams from all over the country that have made it to that tournament, that come from little small towns and still make it. So, I mean, why not us? I believe that we got talent in South Florida. And if you got a coach that's pushing them hard and a good staff, that, we can make a run at it too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, I just have a couple more. I wanted to go back to All-American Sports Recruiting, 9 years there now, from where you started, and having that connection with Eli Herrera, and, looking at his background story again is so inspirational, just like yours. I think that's why, you have, it's almost like having that underdog mentality, and the fact that he coached for a long time at all, 3 levels of the NCAA, including the National Junior College Athletic Association. Just talk about that, in terms of, again, helping these athletes, realize their potential and trying to, again, have them, thrive at the next level, in college and then beyond. But just talk about that, again, how remarkable this is, and just, this journey is for you.
It's amazing. We were introduced by mutual friends. The guy's name was Anthony Thomas. He's out of Texas. Okay. A friend of mine, he introduced me to Eli. Me and Eli clicked right away. We were both under recruited. He told me he had a business to help these kids that didn't get as much exposure, that weren't 5-star kids, and they needed help, and asked me if I wanted to join the company, and I said yes right away. And I had an awesome first 5 years. So I fell in love with it. Recruiting kids and helping them get to the next level. Eli's coached for over 20 years, from Division I to Division II to NAIA. So he knows so much about baseball, and to have him as a boss and to run, things back and forth. He teaches me a lot, and he's a great guy. And I'm very honored to work for his company. We've sent hundreds of kids to school, all levels. The one that pops up to me the most is Oscar Shadley. He was a long snapper from Golden Gate High School. Okay. When we met him, he only had one offer, and he was the #1 long snapper in the nation. And with Eli's, company and his exposure, I brought him to Eli. He had over 11 Division I offers within a couple of weeks, and he ended up at Virginia Tech, 4-year starter. And he's in the Saints mini camp a couple of weeks ago. Nice. So that's exactly what we do, man. We're here to change lives, and we're here to help the kids. And with that, we build relationship with the parents, that I'm friends with all of their dads and moms. I've flown to South Bend to watch Oscar play. I stayed with his parents at the hotel. It's been a great experience. And I love what I do. It's not about the money. Yeah. You don't make a lot of money, but it's about the experience and about being with these kids since they were in high school, following their whole college career. Yeah. And they know you're loyal. They know I'm 100% for them. And it comes down to coming out of my hometown too.
That's right. No, that's fantastic. It's just awesome to hear. Hey, when it comes to the game of baseball, and you said played it for a long time now, coaching, I'm just wondering some of the intangibles that stand out, like, just whether it would be, playing the game, practice, and now, of course, coaching, just some of the things that stand out to you and just, you reflect back and say, wow, this is why I'm in it for the long haul. This is what I was set out to do.
Yeah, I take a lot of stuff that I do from my coaches in college, that really coached me hard, and they always practice how you play, So I take my practices they're like game situations.
Yeah.
Everything's very 100 miles an hour, and the kids always stay busy.
Yeah.
Even with the 11 12 all-star team, I run it like a college program. I want the kids to be developed the right way.
Yeah.
And I give them the opportunity to be coached not only just by me, but my staff has, all of them has played college ball or they've been around the game for a very long time. So take advantage, ask a lot of questions, and be here to work hard because nothing's given to you. I tell them all the time, baseball could end at any time for any of us. So learn as much as you can while you're here and the experience what you have with your teammates and love every second of it because you never know when it's going to end,
That's true, and I think that's terrific. Just being so strategic, just being organized. I think we talk about with the athletes being, I said in terms of time management and being organized. I'm sure as a coach as well, you have to have that blueprint in place every season, in order for a team to be successful. Technology has changed so much, Coach Herrera, over the years, and we've seen it, not only with the way the athletes, can utilize it, coaches can, I had to ask you in terms of, for the training, because the training is so essential.
Right.
24/7, 365, going into year round for coaches and athletes. I had to ask you that, and as well as the game highlights. I mean, we see all the highlight companies out there now. So
Right.
I just wanted to get your take on that.
It's important. A lot of these kids are under recruited, so it's important that these kids they deserve the exposure that they need.
Yeah.
So it's important to find these kids and to give them the exposure that they need and explain to their parents what this can do for them. And it's all about getting seen and getting out there, and the practices are what they are. They're full practices. These kids bust their tail off. They just finished a 5-month season and now they're, playing in the dead summer heat,
Yeah.
for a whole month of practice just to go into a tournament.
Yeah.
And double elimination, you're out of it. So,
Right.
you got to give it to the parents too, who go through it with these kids and they want better for their kids, man.
I agree. I mean, wholeheartedly. I mean, it's just like driving them to the practices, to the games,
It's a lot.
equipment. There's
It's
so
a
much
lot.
that goes into it. Hey, I had to ask you, what does a daily schedule entail for you, Coach Herrera? That popped into my head.
Well, I work a full-time job and
Okay.
and I coach and I work for the recruiting company as a part-time job and I
Yeah.
travel.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a full day for me and I
Yeah.
go coach these kids for free. Hopefully in the future, I've been asked if I would be interested in coaching high school ball, and that could come.
Yeah.
So when the timing is right, that could be my next little venture, going to coach high school ball. And I'm gonna leave it in God's hands right now. I'm gonna enjoy coaching these kids that I have now and see where it takes me.
That's
I'll
amazing.
always stick with all American sports recruiting because they gave me a shot,
Yes.
and I love recruiting kids and I love helping them get to the next level. So that will always be a job for me. And I'm grateful for Eli who let me, join the company as a scout because he has a few scouts around. So I'm
Mhm.
grateful for him to let me take care of South Florida, and I give him everything I got. And he knows it. So
Yeah.
very grateful for his opportunity.
That's tremendous. That's great to hear. Hey, as much as we talk about the physical aspect of the game of baseball, I think people tend to forget also the mental part about it because it is, whether you're up at the plate, on the mound, in the infield or outfield, you really have to stay in tune with it. And then also in terms of nutrition, keeping your body, set in the right shape. Just talk about those elements as well, because they play, a key factor in terms of the success of an athlete as well.
Yeah, a lot of these kids, baseball it's a lot of fail in that, it's a hard sport to play.
Yeah.
Baseball, it's very difficult. I try to tell these kids to stay positive as much as they can. If you strike out 3 times, who cares? Go play great defense. Or if you strike out 4 times, just give it everything you got the next game. You gotta just forget about the day after the day's over, and learn how to turn it to page to the next day. Try to act like a pro as much as possible. If you watch the game and study the game, you see guys that get paid millions of dollars that strike out all the time, and watch how they handle it.
Yeah.
The nutrition part, these kids are, since I played, they're above the game with the nutrition. They take care of their bodies.
Yeah.
They play year round baseball. They got protein shakes and fluids, and their parents do a really good job of getting them as healthy as they can, and with all natural stuff. So it's a blessing to work with these kids. These kids are bigger and faster
I know.
than we were 20 years
Yeah.
ago. That's for sure. So it's crazy. Yeah. They got a gift, and I'm just there to make sure that they know that they got a gift, and that it can be taken away if you don't make the right decisions off the field too.
Yeah.
So I try to be the best mentor I can be, as a coach, and as a mentor, so they know they can come to me with questions or whatever they want to ask me, and I tell them, I keep it 100% with them. So I'm grateful for the opportunity that I get to work with kids every day.
That's super. Hey, the last two. I know you talked about support from your family, but once again, wanted to give you the floor in terms of that. What they've meant to you. During your journey, not only again as an athlete, but as a coach. Just talk about that.
Yeah, my family's means everything to me. I'm married now for 11 years, and I got 2 beautiful sons. They also play Little League. They're young. They're 6 and 7. So
Okay.
we're just going through the motions with them. So
Yeah.
they're not on this all-star team at all.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this from my heart, to give back to my community. But I work with them as much as I can on the side. Sometimes it's better for other coaches to coach my kids.
Mm-hmm.
They take it better, and I just make them better at home. But my family supports me 100%. My mom goes to all the games. My wife brings the kids to all the games. We got a great relationship with the parents and all their kids. So family, comes first.
That's right.
I love my family, and I'm grateful to have them supporting me every day, and I don't take it for granted. So
That's great. Okay, Coach, before you get the last word, the final question is, what is your message for those younger athletes out there, even coaches, and people who also maybe want to break into this type of line of work in the recruiting business?
For the kids, it's never give up. The biggest thing is never give up. Whether you get cut or you don't get cut, always work on your craft. Always get better. You can always get better. And for the coaches, you got to be a mentor first. You got to let the kids know that you care about the kids before anything. I've noticed the kids will play harder for you if they understand that you love them and care about them. Of course, you can coach them hard, but these days you got to let them know that you care, and let them know that it's not all about baseball. It's about life too. Yeah. And that's very important to me. But yeah, those are the most important things.
Okay, Coach Herrera, you get the last word here. Turns to your family, friends, former teammates, All-American sports recruiting. I give you the floor.
Okay. I just want to thank Eli for giving me an opportunity. I want to wish my boy Stuart Fairchild a great rest of the season with the Giants. Perfect example for the kids. Been released by the Diamondbacks, released by the Mariners, and then he caught on with the Giants. He never gives up. He keeps a positive attitude, and he belongs in the big leagues. He just needs an opportunity to show his stuff. Mm-hmm. So I tell the kids all the time, watch Stu play and follow what he does. So he's a great role model. He's a great role model for me. He's a great role model for the kids. And thank you very much for what you do for the kids. You're an awesome guy, and God's got big plans for you too. And I'm very grateful that you got to interview me. and I'm very thankful for it. And hopefully we can, catch another interview in the next coming months.
Sounds good. Hey, just an incredible honor and privilege, Coach Herrera. And again, wishing you continued success with All-American sports recruiting. Of course, coaching, I said this Florida, All-Star team, the National All-Star team from Naples, Florida. And hoping you guys, I said reach Williamsport, Pennsylvania, with the Little League World Series in August.
Thank you. And when we do, I'm flying you in. So
right,
we'll be interviewing the team.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Have a great day.